Sir, 1 second. It's taking more time. We are live, sir. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta, Shrotriya Sadguru Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati, on behalf of all of us and to the entire Guru Parampara, today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will continue. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashtakruto Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. Last time the shloka number 351 was covered, the verse 351 in this Viveka Chudamani. As repeatedly, once in a way, I remind our Guru Bandhus that this discourse is mainly based on the commentary, bhashyam, given by Sri Chandrasekhar Bharati Mahaswamigal, Jagat Guru of Sringeri, Sharada. In the last few sets of shlokas, Acharya was mentioning about by proper understanding and reasoning, power, Viveka, power of discrimination, to discriminate Atman and Anatman. So, how to totally understand the difference between Sat and Asat, Sadasat Viveka. And finally, this ultimate discrimination leading to the deep levels of concentration in the dhyana mode, which results in samadhi state, by the grace, ultimately by the grace of the Guru, Satguru, or God as we call. Both are one and the same at the highest level. By the grace of the Sadguru or God, ultimately the mumukshu or jijnasu will experience that first-hand experience of realizing the self within himself by the grace of the self. I remember this beautiful sentence our Gurudev was very fond of. It conveys all the meaning, core meaning of Advaitic philosophy. Our Gurudev used to use such small phrases here and there. So this is a beautiful phrase our Gurudev has used. Ultimately, you will realize the self, capital S, remember. You will realize the self within the self by the grace of the self. This simple yet very powerful, meaningful sentence uttered by our Gurudeva conveys all the meaning, all the meaning. Only by the grace of the self is realized within our own self. So, Acharya had ultimately stopped at that point last time. It was covered in the shloka, verse number 351. Itham vipaschit sadasad vivajya nischitya tattvam nijabodha drushtya jnatva swamatmanam akhanda bodham tepya vimukta swayameva shamyati. Acharya repeatedly mentions this point. Elsewhere also throughout Viveka Chudamani. The same point in different verses, with a different meter, chandas, with different words in different shlokas. Swamatmanam akhandabodham jnatva tebhyaha vimukta swayameva shamyati. So after realizing the self within the self, ಆತ್ಮನ ದರ್ಶನವನ ಆತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಆತ್ಮನಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಅನುಭವಿಸಿ ಆತ್ಮದ್ರಷ್ಟಾರನಾದಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮ ದರ್ಶನವನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಂತಹ ಆ ಭಗವತ್ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರವನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಂತಹ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು ಆತ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಆತ ಸದಾ ಕಾಲ ಶಾಂತನಾಗಿ ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸ್ವಯಮೇವ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ, ಇಹ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ಮುಕ್ತನಾಗಿ ತೇಭ್ಯ ವಿಮುಕ್ತ ಸ್ವಯಮೇವ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ತೇಭ್ಯ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂಸಾರ ಪಾಶಗಳಿಂದ, ಈ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ, ಸಂಸಾರದಿಂದ ಮಾನಸಿಕವಾಗಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ಹಾಕಲ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಈ ಬಂಧನ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ಆತ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ವಯಮೇವ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ, ತಾನಾಗಿಯೇ ಶಾಂತನಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ವಿಮುಕ್ತ ಬೈ ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಸಂಡರ್ ದಿ ಸ್ನೇರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮಾಯಾ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ he is no more attached mentally. No more attached mentally means his mind is at equilibrium state, equanimous mode. He is beyond the pairs of opposites. He becomes a dvandvati. Dvandva is a technical adhyatmic word. What does dvandva mean? All of us, we are influenced by this dvandva, pairs of opposites in our life, from birth to death, till the last breath, till the death takes over, till the death occurs. We are confined within this bondage of dvandva, pairs of opposites. What is that? Like every coin has two faces. Every feeling, every experience in the life, every moment in this phenomenal world, what we are experiencing through five senses. We are seeing, we are hearing, we are touching, we are smelling, we are tasting through our indriyas or sense object or sensory objects. And by five karmendriyas, we are performing all the functions or activities and karmas. And then our mind is always influenced by dvandva. Dvandva means sukha and dukkha, the opposites. If there is happiness, ultimately Vedanta says that happiness is immediately, it is followed by unhappiness. If there is pleasure and a joy, immediately there will be some situation, the sorrow falls in. Grief follows along with that. So wherever there is joy, at one moment, it is replaced by sorrow or grief, sudden shock. These are dvandvas. Shitoshna is a word used usually in Vedanta. Shita means cold, Ushna means hot. So in the seasonal, changes, you find the temperature goes down in the winter season too much, and accordingly our activities are controlled by the cold temperature. And in the hot summer, especially in tropical countries like India and Africa, you know very well how the summer heat prevails and our activities are controlled by summer. So the heat and cold are best examples for dvandva, pairs of opposites. So whole life we are caught up in this dvandva. So a mumukshu, swayameva shamyati acharya, he remains unperturbed. His mind becomes stand still, prashanta manas, stilled mind, equanimous mind. He faces everything, observes everything, experiences whatever he gets in the life at the material, phenomenal world sense, worldly sense. Now he takes it everything in his own stride. He is not perturbed, not disturbed mentally. No more agitations in the mind. No more worries in the mind. Mind remains calm. Internally, the internal component called mind or buddhi or chitta remains all the time calm. No more turmoil. No more agitations. No more restlessness. So this state is called dvandvatita. It's beyond the pairs of opposites. So he reaches, once he becomes Dvandvatita, automatically his mind quietens and quietens and quietens and remains stand still as a pure witness. I remember number of times Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi has mentioned it in so many ways, the same point. Stilling or quietening the mind is very important. Quietening the mind, stilling the mind, making the mind to remain without thoughts, that is a core point in Advaitic Vedanta, in meditation, in the process of dhyana, or what you call entering the samadhi, whatever names are, quietening the mind. So Swayameva Shamyati Acharya. So the mumukshu, he realizes himself, he becomes liberated, he becomes emancipated, he becomes enlightened. Once he is enlightened, Swayameva Shamyati, all the time he remains like quiet sense. All the time he remains very calm and serene and quiet. That is the point Acharya gave us. Last time this was covered. Now the next set of shlokas, again, they are at a higher level. As last time it was told, the next set of shlokas deal with what we are commencing now today from verse number 352 onwards. They deal with the samadhi itself, the state of samadhi itself, and the nature of samadhi and the benefit accrued or to be accrued due to the effect of samadhi. Ultimately, remember, in the core Advaitic sense, the core non-dual philosophical sense, Acharya Bhagavatpada is very, very clear in his exposition in Viveka Chudamani that only ultimately, by the grace of Guru or God, always remember it should be at the back of the mind, by the grace of the Sadguru or God, not by personal effort anymore. So finally, the core point is ultimately only during the deepest levels of contemplative meditation with one pointed concentration, what is called samadhi state, when all the thoughts actually cease to be, even the seeker who is seeking the object ceases to be the seeker, when the ego or ahankara totally obliterated, when the manonasha occurs by the grace of Guru or the self or Atman or Parabrahma Vastu, now he realizes in the deeper, ultimately, Nirvikalpa Samadhi state, the pure Atman. The pure Atman, Parabrahma Vastu, Pratyagatma will shine itself. So that's what called realization. That happens in the Samadhi state. So we'll start with this verse now. Ajnana Hrudaya Granther Nishesha Vilayastada Samadhina Vikalpena Yadadvaitatma Darshanam. Ajnana Hrudaya Granther Nishesha Vilayastada Samadhina Avikalpena Yada Advaita Atma Darshanam. Samadhina Vikalpena, if you split the second chapter, beginning, if the sandhi is taken out, avikalpena samadhina yada advaitatma darshanam. So the yada and tada is used in this shloka here. So what it means, ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಮಾಧಿಯ ಫಲವನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತದೆ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ, ಆತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ, ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಗಾತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ, ಸದ್ಗುರು ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಶುಭ ಮುಹೂರ್ತದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಳವಾದ ಸಮಾಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿಯ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ಆ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಸವಿಕಲ್ಪದಿಂದ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿಪಕ್ವಾವಸ್ಥೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಗುರು ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಧಾತು ಪ್ರಸಾದದಿಂದ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಸದ್ಗುರು ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ಆಗೋದು ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೃದಯ ಗ್ರಂಥಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅಜ್ಞಾನ ಎಂಬ ಹೃದಯ ಗ್ರಂಥಿ ತಾನಾಗಿಯೇ ಹೊರಟು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕತ್ತರಿಸಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಅಜ್ಞಾನ ಹೃದಯ ಗ್ರಂಥೆ ನಿಶೇಷ ವಿಲಯಸ್ತದ. So here in the shloka, what Acharya says, so when the Atman avikalpena samadhina, in the deepest nirvikalpa samadhi state, yada advaita atma darshanam, when the Atman is experienced, when pratyagatma is experienced, when the Atma itself shines itself totally in the nirvikalpa samadhi state, then only tada ajnana hridaya granthi nishesha vilayaha. Then the ajnana hridaya granthi, see the knot, K-N-O-T, knot in the heart. Which knot? The knot called ajnana, avidya, ignorance, primordial ignorance. So the knot called ignorance in the heart cave is totally cut. Ajnana hridaya granthi nishesha vilayaha. It goes away completely. It goes away completely. Only during nirvikalpa samadhi. Along with the vasanas. Along with the vasanas. So ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಬಹಳ ಚೊಕ್ಕದಾಗಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಅರ್ಥಗರ್ಭಿತವಾದ ಶ್ಲೋಕ. ಏನು? ಯಾವಾಗ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿಯಿಂದ ಆ ಅದ್ವಯನಾದ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ದರ್ಶನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆಯೋ, ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆಯೋ, ಆಗ ಈ ಅಜ್ಞಾನ ಎನ್ನತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹೃದಯ ಗ್ರಂಥಿ ತಾನಾಗಿಯೇ ಕತ್ತರಿಸಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತದೆ. So what is this ajnana hridaya granthi Acharya is talking here in one word or a phrase? What is this ajnana hridaya granthi? So in nirvikalpa samadhi, when the realization occurs, ajnana hridaya granthi is destroyed. The knot of ajnana is destroyed. What does it mean? So it means ultimately sequentially following things that happen. The primordial ignorance, avidya, point number 1, avidya, ajnana, ignorance about the pure state of being, due to pramada, due to negligence in thousands of previous births carried over, we have superimposed ourselves that I am the body. So the Sharira Abhimana is superimposed, falsely implied on the pure Atman. So that is Ajnana, ignorance. We are thinking we are body. We are not aware of our real nature. The unreality is to be considered as real in our life, that I am the body itself. So that is Ajnana. That is Avidya, in other words. So please remember, individual level, the Maya is called in Vedanta, in Advaitic school of thought, the Maya is called as Avidya at individual level. ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗತವಾಗಿ ಮಾಯೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಅವಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ಶಬ್ದದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತದೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ. In collective sense, it is used as Maya. In the individual sense, the word used here is avidya. So avidya. Ajnana means avidya, because of ignorance, thinking that I am the body. Then what happens? The doership, I am the karta, feeling comes in. The ego, the phantom ego, unreal ego is, bloated up. in the waking state throughout our life, our ego is controlling. The ego is one of the manovyapara, manovrutti. Along with the mind and buddhi, ego controls. I am the body. So the avidya leads to sense of doership. I am the doer. I am doing. So that results in desires. I want this, I want. So avidya results in kama. Point number 2. Avidya results in kama, desires, aspirations. Throughout our life, we desire expectations. We aspire for so many things. We expect so many things in our life. We desire so many things in our life till the last. So, ajnana results in desires. Desires prompt us to do appropriate actions, karma. So, the three things are interconnected here. What are the three things? Avidya leading to kama, kama leading to karma. Avidya, kama, karma. They are the trinity of ajnana. These are the three phases of our primordial ignorance. That I am the body, I am the doer, I am the karta, I am the bhoktra. So I am the karta, I am the bhoktra, I am the enjoyer, I am the doer. So the feeling of I results in all our desires and then appropriate actions, whether legal or illegal actions, tamasic, rajasic, sattvic actions. So most of us, we enjoy in dealing with our own actions to fulfill our own desires in so many ways, till the last breath. So this is ajnana, hrudaya granthi. So during the realization, during Atma Darshana, this ajnana hrudaya granthi is cut. The knot of ajnana is cut. So there will be no more avidya, no more kama, desires, and no more karmas to fulfill our own kama or desires. You remain a pure witness. You remain a sort of at equilibrium state, looking at the phenomenal world as a total mirage, which is there today, tomorrow it will vanish. So you are no more affected by this world, worldly things, worldly happenings. Though you are living in the world, you are moving in the world, you know that you are not part of the Maya. You know that you are not part of the world. You know that you are not part of this apparent phenomenon called world. You always remain inside totally dvandvateta, unperturbed. Without, in the real sense, you know that you are not performing any action. Your body is performing some limited action for its survival. So there are no more desires. When the desires come down, all your activities actually will come down. Your karmas will come down. Your actions will come down. That is the point here. So ajnana hridaya granthi nishesha vilayaha. So when the Atma Darshana occurs, the knot of ajnana, ignorance, is cut. That is the basic one. Next, fairly long verse. Tvamaham idam mitiyam kalpana buddhi doshat prabhavati paramatman advaye nirvisheshe pravilasati samadhavasya sarvo vikalpo vilayan upagached vastu tattva avadhrutya. Tvamaham idam mitiyam kalpana buddhi doshat prabhavati paramatmani advaye nirvisheshe pravilasati samadhavasya sarvo vikalpo vilayan upagached vastu tattva avadhrutya. Here it means Acharya is talking tvam plus aham plus idam iti iyam kalpana buddhi dosha. So once, previous shloka, what you have to tag on here. Once the Atma Darshana occurs, when the ajnana knot is destroyed, there will be no more confusion, no more attachment, no more the Sharirabhimana, and whatever imaginations were there due to the defect in reasoning of the intellect or buddhi dosha. Earlier, you were thinking that you are the body. Your ego was performing. Your ego had identified with the body. Your mind and body had an ego complex that I am so and so. I am having a status and a name and a gender, and I am doing. I am the doer. So this concept, ego concept. Kalpana buddhi doshat tvam aham idam iti ayam kalpana buddhi dosha. So myself, yourself, that all these feelings of separating, diversification, that is the dualistic mode of feeling that I am different, you are different, it is different, so that is different. So this way of looking at things, dualistic way of, in Dvaita Bhava all the time, in Dvaita Bhava only, whatever this imagination was there, Prabhavati Paramatmani Advaye Nirvisheshe. So once the Atmadarshana occurs, by whatever due to the defect of intellect or buddhi, imagination of I, you, this, that, all the duality, multiplicity, diversity of the world, that actually vanishes when Atma shines in Samadhi. So, you being a non-dual Parabrahma Vastu, once that feeling is self-experienced, first-hand experience is there of Atma Darshana, these diversified dualistic thoughts that you, me, this and that, it, all these things will vanish. Buddhi doshat prabhavati paramatmani advaye nirvisheshe advaye paramatmani prabhavati. So it happens when the Atma shines in the Samadhi, in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, when the Atma Darshana occurs, when the realization occurs in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, all these wrong understandings that I am, you are, that is, this world, that all these dualistic feelings, they vanish from totally during that state of Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Pravilasate Samadhavasya Sarvo Vikalpo, Velayan Upagachet Vastu Tatvavadritya. So such wrong identifications totally vanish. So ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾದ ಬುದ್ಧಿದೋಷದಿಂದ, ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನದಿಂದ ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ನಾನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುವೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪನೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಆ ಮೂಲ ಸಂಸರಣೆ ವಿಸ್ಮೃತಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ನಮಗೆ ಆ ಮೂಲ ವಸ್ತುವೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಭ್ರಮೆಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ನಾನು, ನೀನು, ಇದು, ಅದು ಅಂತ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿದೋಷದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಮನೋವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ. ಆದರೆ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪರಮಾರ್ಥ ತತ್ವ, ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ತತ್ವ, ಆತ್ಮತತ್ವ ತಾನೇ ತಾನಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಮಾನವಾಗಿ ಬೆಳಗ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ಆದಾಗ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಕಲ್ಪಗಳು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಸಂಶಯಗಳು, ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳು, ಬುದ್ಧಿಯ ತರ್ಕ ವಿತರ್ಕಗಳು ತಾನೇ ತಾನಾಗಿ ವಿನಾಶವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದುತ್ತವೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಅರ್ಥ. So the all concepts of duality are destroyed when the non-dual state of mind, when that advaitic state of the mind is achieved during samadhi. Only in Samadhi state, that too Nirvikalpa Samadhi state, all such wrong notions of dualistic feeling are lost. In simple, Advaita Darshana happens during Nirvikalpa Samadhi due to the grace of Pratyagatma. When self-realization occurs, once I know my true identity, all these dualistic feelings are totally lost once for all in the mind. The mind becomes purer, pure Vishuddha Sattva. From normal Sattva, Sattvic state, it reaches the higher purified state Acharya elsewhere has called in Viveka Chudamani as Vishuddha Sattva, the purest of the pure state. When our own Sattvic nature removes all the traces of tamasic and rajasic qualities left over, tagged on, when it is totally devoid of rajasic and tamasic identifications or qualities, the mind becomes totally pure. It goes from sattva, it becomes Vishuddha Sattva. From normal sattvic condition, it becomes totally pure sattvic. So in that Vishuddha Sattva, in that pristine purity of the mind, the Atma Darshana reflects, or it shines by itself. No more identification of the body and mind count. You become that only, you form that only, and you identify and merge with that only. All the time the dual feeling was there. I am different, you are different, that is different, universe is different, the world is there, the world is being seen, and I am a part of the world, I am living in the world, I am reacting to the world, I am experiencing good and bad, I am experiencing pleasure and pain, I am experiencing happy and suffering. All such dualistic feelings are mentally, now they are removed by the grace of Pratyagatma or the Atma Darshana in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. What Acharya is making it very clear. Next shloka and fourth charana, long one. Same thing, continuation. What happens when there is first-hand experience of realization, when there is Atma Darshana during the deeper levels of one-pointed concentration during the meditation, during the Anavastha, once the Samadhi state is reached, what happens? ಮುಂದಿನ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಮಾಧಿಯಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಂಟಾಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಹೇಳಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವೇ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕೇವಲ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ವೇದ್ಯವಾಗತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾದಂತಹ ನೇರವಾದಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮಾನುಭವ ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮಭವ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನು ಫಲ? ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕ. ಶಾಂತೋದಂತಃ ಪರಮುಪರತಃ ಕ್ಷಾಂತಿಯುಕ್ತಃ ಸಮಾಧಿಂ ಕುರ್ವನ್ ನಿತ್ಯಂ ಕಲಯತಿ ಯತಿ ಸ್ವಸ್ಯ ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮಭಾವಂ ತೇನಾ ವಿದ್ಯಾತಿಮಿರಜನಿತಾನ್ ಸಾಧು ದಗ್ಧ್ವಾ ವಿಕಲ್ಪಾನ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕೃತ್ಯಾ ನಿವಸತಿ ಸುಖಂ ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯೋ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪಃ. ಶಾಂತೋದಾಂತಃ ಪರಮುಪರತಃ ಕ್ಷಾಂತಿಯುಕ್ತಃ ಸಮಾಧಿಂ ಕುರ್ವನ್ ನಿತ್ಯಂ ಕಲಯತಿ ಯತಿ ಸ್ವಸ್ಯ ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮಭಾವಂ ತೇನಾ ವಿದ್ಯಾತಿಮಿರಜನಿತಾನ್ ಸಾಧು ದಗ್ಧ್ವಾ ವಿಕಲ್ಪಾನ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕೃತ್ಯಾ ನಿವಸತಿ ಸುಖಂ ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯೋ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪಃ. ಸ್ವಯಂ ಆತ್ಮಾನುಭವ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ, ನನ್ನ ಸ್ವಸ್ವರೂಪದ ದರ್ಶನ ನನಗೆ ಉಂಟಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಕೊನೆಯ ಚರಣ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ಚರಣ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದರ ಫಲ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಮಾಧಿಯ ಫಲ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನದ ಆತ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರದ ಫಲ ಏನು, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕೃತ್ಯ ನಿವಸತಿ ಸುಖಂ ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯೋ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ. ಅಜ್ಞಾನ ಅನ್ನೋ ಹೃದಯ ಗ್ರಂಥಿ ನಾಶವಾದ ಮೇಲೆ, ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ಕ್ಷಯವಾದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾದ ಮೇಲೆ, ವಿಶುದ್ಧ ಸತ್ವಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಂಟಾದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ, ಆತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಸದ್ಗುರುವಿನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ಉಂಟಾದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಆ ಆತ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಗಾತ್ಮನ ಯಾಥಾತ್ಮ್ಯ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಾನು ಯಾರೂ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅನುಭವ ತಾನಾಗಿ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸುಮುಹೂರ್ತದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಅಂತಹ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು ಅಂತಹವನು ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತನಾಗಿ ಬಿಡ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಕೃತ್ಯ ನಿವಸತಿ ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ, ಅಂತಹ ಯತಿ, ಅಂತಹ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು, ಅಂತಹ ಉತ್ತಮ ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸು, ಅಂತಹ ಉತ್ತಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಕೃತ್ಯ ನಿವಸತಿ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕಾರದಿಂದ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಸದಾ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕಾರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಾನೇ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥಿತನಾಗಿ ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಆತನ ದೇಹಾಭಿಮಾನ ಅಥವಾ ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನು, ಇಂತಹ ಉಪಾಧಿ, ನಾನು ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿ, ನಾನು ಗೃಹಸ್ಥ, ನಾನು ವನಪ್ರಸ್ಥಿ, ನಾನು ವೃದ್ಧ, ನಾನು ಯುವಕ, ನಾನು ಸುಖಿ, ನಾನು ದುಃಖಿ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಉಪಾಧಿಗಳನ್ನ ಕಳಚಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಪಾಧಿಗಳಿಂದ ಅತೀತನಾಗಿ ತಾನು ದೇಹವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮನಸ್ಸೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬುದ್ಧಿಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಚಿತ್ತವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ತಾನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಎನ್ನುವ ಅನುಭವದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥಿತನಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆತ ಹೇಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಆ ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಹೇಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕಾರ ವೃತ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮವೇ, ಆತ್ಮವೇ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಆ ಪಾರಮಾರ್ಥ ವಸ್ತು, ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಗಾತ್ಮನೇ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ, ದೇಹಾಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವನೆ ನೋಡುವವರ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ, ಶಿಷ್ಯಂದ್ರಿಗೆ, ಭಕ್ತರಿಗೆ ಅಂತಹ ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕಾರ ವೃತ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸದಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕಾರ ವೃತ್ತಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವೇ ಆಕಾರವನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಮಾನವಾಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತು ನಮಗೆ ಹರಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಭಾವ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕಾರ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕೃತ್ಯ ನಿವಸತಿ ಸುಖಂ ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯೋ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ. ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯೋ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸುಖಂ ನಿವಸತಿ. ಆತ ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯನಾಗಿ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪನಾಗಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿರ್ಯೋಚನೆಯಿಂದ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಯೋಚನೆಗಳಿಂದ, ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳಿಂದ, ಸಂದಿಗ್ಧತೆಯಿಂದ, ದ್ವಂದ್ವಗಳಿಂದ ಮುಕ್ತನಾಗಿ ಸುಖಂ ನಿವಸತಿ, ಶಾಂತನಾಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಪ್ರಶಾಂತನಾಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಯಾರದು? ಶಾಂತೋದಾಂತಃ ಪರಂ ಉಪರತಃ ಶಾಂತಯುಕ್ತಃ ಸಮಾಧಿಂ ಕುರ್ವನ್ ನಿತ್ಯಂ ಕಲಯತಿ ಯತಿ ಸ್ವಸ್ಯ ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮ ಭಾವಂ ತೇನ ಅವಿದ್ಯಾ ತಿಮಿರ ಜನಿತಾನ್ ಸಾಧು ದಗ್ಧ್ವಾ ವಿಕಲ್ಪ. ತೇನ ಅವಿದ್ಯಾ ತಿಮಿರ ಜನಿತಾನ್ ವಿಕಲ್ಪಾನ್ ಸಾಧು ದಗ್ಧ್ವಾ. ಅವಿದ್ಯೆಯ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ, ಈ ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ ಉಂಟಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸರ್ವ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ವಿಕಲ್ಪಗಳನ್ನ, ಸಂಶಯಗಳನ್ನ, ಸಂದೇಹಗಳನ್ನ, ದ್ವಂದ್ವಗಳನ್ನ, ದ್ವೈತ ಭಾವಗಳನ್ನ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಸಾಧು ದಗ್ಧ್ವ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸುಟ್ಟು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ ಹೊರಹಾಕಿ, ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ ದಹಿಸಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಕೃತ್ಯ ನಿವಸತಿ ಸುಖಂ, ಸುಖಂ ನಿವಸತಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಕೃತ್ಯ ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯೋ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ. This is the key word. So what Acharya is meaning here in this shloka? So the fruits of this Nirvikalpa Samadhi, ultimately, what happens in Nirvikalpa Samadhi by the grace of Atman, by the grace of Sadguru, or by the grace of Paramartha Vastu itself? What happens? So that point he is referring here. Shanto Dantaha Paramaparataha Kshanti Yuktaha Samadhim Purvan Nityam Kalayati Yatihi Swasya Sarvatma Bhavam. Nityam Purvan Yatihi Swasya Sarvatma Bhavan Kalayati. So here it means what? Shantaha. See, a person who experiences first hand in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Atma Darshan, Atma Sakshatkara, he becomes Shanta, serene. His mind becomes totally serene, totally pure, totally Vishuddha Sattva, purest of the pure. All the remnants and residues of Rajasa and Tamasa gunas or qualities, attributes are removed from his mind. So the mind becomes pure, purest of the pure, Shanta, serene mind. Dantaha, his mind is under his full control. Dantaha means the one who controls his mind. See, this Shantaha, Dantaha, such a mumukshu who has entered into Nirvikalpa Samadhi and experienced Atma Darshana, he becomes Shanta and Danta. Danta means he controls his mind. What about us? See the difference. We are never Danta and Shanta. We don't have that serene, equipoised, still mind. Always our mind is agitated. Always we are restless. Mind jumping from one thought to another, from one desire to another. Is there an end in our life? Till the last breath, our mind is full of thoughts. What is mind? Full of thoughts. Mind is a baggage of thoughts, as all Mahatmans have said in the Indian Vedanta. What is mind? It's nothing but baggage of thoughts, sankalpa and vikalpa. Thoughts and emotions, imaginations and doubts. Vikalpa, doubts. Whether to do this or not, whether it will happen or not, whether it is good for me or not, whether I should go in this direction or not, whether I should take up this job or not, what to do, whether my life is good or not. If I do this work, is it beneficial to me or not? If I take up this job, is it good or not? What my wife will think, what my husband will think, how they behave, how my in-laws will behave, how my parents will look up, how my colleagues will think, how they look upon me, how the world looks at me. See, all these things are sankalpa and vikalpa in the mind. So we are never shanta. Always agitation in the mind. Always. And we are never danta. What is danta? We never control our mind. Once you control the mind, automatically, you can reach this stage of stillness of mind. So can we control our mind? It is like a monkey, as most of the Mahatmans have compared. Of course, the lighter vein, monkey cannot remain at one place at one moment totally silent. It always is very active, jumping and going hither and thither. So mind is compared to that. So we cannot control our mind. The mind controls us. See, we are at the mercy of our mind. Mind is not at our mercy. So we are not dantaha, we are not shanta. Then what is uparataha? The person who is realized due to the Atma Darshana and Nirvikalpa Samadhi is always uparataha. What is that? He is withdrawn by his own willpower, the stature of the purest of the pure mind. He has withdrawn from all the external activities. No more externals in the life will perturb him or attract him. He ceases from all externals. All external activity, he is no more bothered. He is a pure witness. Uparataha. Are we uparataha? No. We cannot be uparataha in our life because we cannot cease ourselves from activity. We cannot remain nishkriya, in other words. Always we are bubbling with some karma action, this and that. Can anybody sit totally glued to the chair from morning 10 to 5, normal office time, Indian, morning 10 to 5, Can you imagine yourself sitting on the chair glued without doing anything? Without doing anything? Try once. It is not possible. So we are always bubbling with energy, bubbling with our mental activity, and the mental activity prompts you to do physical action. You cannot sit quiet. You cannot remain nishkriya all the time. All the time you are active. All the time there is action, karma, mental or physical level or at the mental level. We are bound by karma, our own action. So we are not uparataha. Then what about Shanti Yukta? A realized person, a mumukshu who has seen Atma Darshana, who has experienced Atma Darshana, who has realized him true self, he becomes Shanti Yukta. Shanti Yukta. We are not Shanti Yukta. What is Shanti Yukta? A realized sage, a muni or a yati or a mumukshu is Shanti Yukta. He is the one. That means all the pairs of opposites, Dvandvas, now he will bear with utmost equanimous mental state without feeling joy or remorse. Whatever comes in the life, whatever happens in the life, whatever problems occur in the life, whatever crisis occurs, he takes everything in the same sense without budging, mentally perturbed, without worrying, without being restless. Whatever happens, his body acts accordingly in the world, but he is not in the deeper sense disturbed at all. Whether good things happen, he takes it in the same sense. Whether any bad thing happens, he takes it in the same sense. If somebody praises him or comes and prostrates at his feet, goes down, eulogizes him, and praises him a lot in front of others, he comes with a garland, he offers money and his seva to him, the person is not bothered, he is not elated at all. Or if some person comes and starts scolding in front of him that you are so and so, you are a unworthy fellow, you are a useless fellow, you are a black dot in the eyes of the society, like that. You preach something and you behave in a different way. You are a black sheep in a velvet cloth. So many ways. If some person comes and starts abusing you, insulting you, what happens? You cannot remain quiet. You cannot be Shanti Yukta. You immediately react. You know the best. In public, in front of others, if someone scolds you, please check yourself. Take a test today itself. Have it in the mind. If I scold you in front of others, if I scold you directly, so others are watching, what will happen in your mind? How your mind, your ego loads up, your anger splashes out, you become restless with a total angry mood, and how you will react to the extent that you are going to hit me. I'm sure, 100%, no doubt in that. No doubt. I have never seen anybody, even among our devotees, among our spiritual Guru Bandhus, who have taken the insults in the right sense. Always I have seen them showing their unhappiness when somebody says something wrong about them. When they come to know that so and so has said something, they become highly agitated. And they are, remember, spiritual people. Then what about common people? If someone insults you, your ego is hurt, totally hurt, you become angry. Come on, tell me, don't say I am not hurt. This is what we have seen in life. This is the litmus test. You have to test yourself whether your mind is agitated when somebody insults you in front of others, not in private. Maybe you are not much bothered when your wife or husband insults you privately in the bedroom, that you have taken into your stride. But come on, Let me ask you a question. In the open ground, in the world, in front of others, in front of your colleagues, in front of your relatives, if someone comes and starts talking ill of you, abusing you, please tell me without fail. How do you take it? Don't you get angry? Don't you get angry when you hear the insult? When your ears receive those words, somebody is scolding you that you are a useless fellow. Please check yourself. So that is what is called Shanti Yukta. You are no more Shanti Yukta. You are not a Dvandva Sahishnu. Somebody praises, you feel very happy. But somebody insults, you become very angry. See, this is not becoming Shanti Yukta. Shanti Yukta means you take everything lightly. Even if somebody praises you, you just smile. Somebody insults you, you must smile inside the mind. No feeling, no carried over feeling. Don't say, yesterday that fellow scolded me. 1 week before, that fellow scolded me. Don't say, don't repeat today. 1 month before, that fellow scolded me. Don't say, 1 year before, that fellow insulted me in the public. So you carry the anger, hatredness, and jealousy all the time in your mind. So you cannot be Shanti Yukta. Only a realized soul is Yati, a Mumukshu, who has the Atma Darshana and Nirvikalpa Samadhi. He becomes Shanti Yukta. Dvandva Sahishnu, that means. So remaining calm in adverse conditions, unfavorable conditions, or favorable conditions. And the one who practices the Samadhi daily, Kuruvan Nityam Kalayati Yati Swasya Sarvatma Bhavam. The one who practices Samadhi daily, regularly meditates, regularly enters into the mode of dhyana, such a mumukshu, such a yati, such a uttama adhikari experiences oneness with everything by the grace of Atman, by the grace of Brahma himself or Pratyagatma himself. So he experiences oneness with the universe, Sarvatma Bhava, when once he becomes realized. Once he becomes realized. Once reality dawns, once he knows who he is in really, no more the body, no more the mind, then where is the question of reacting? Where is the question of anger? Where is the question of jealousy? Where is the question of ambition? Where is the question of karma? Everything stops. Is there action? Is there a mind? Once you become Atma Swarupa, in the sense, you remain Nishkriya Nirvikalpa. You remain imagineless, doubtless, and actionless mentally. You become a pure witness. So that is the point here. Kurvan Nityam Kalayati Yati Swasya Sarvatma Bhava. Tena avidyatimara janitan sadhudhagva vikalpan brahmakritya nivasati sukham nishkriyo nirvikalpaha. So by burning all the wrong ideas caused by the avidya, that is called avidya, he remains in the beatific state of Parabrahma. He remains in the beatific state of Brahmavastu, that is Brahmakara Vritti. As if the Parabrahma, Pratyagatma, has appeared in the human form. Brahmakara Vritti. Brahmakara Vritti means he appears in the beatific state of Parabrahma Vastu only. He becomes Sakshat Parabrahma Swarupa. He becomes a great Jnani himself. That is why all Mahatmans, all Jnanis are known as Parabrahma Swarupa, Jnana Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa, Chit Swarupa, Sat Swarupa. All are Jivan Mukta. All Jnanis actually remain in Brahmakara Vritti. They always remain in the state, what we call as beatific state of Parabrahma. That is Brahmakara Vritti. And he is Totally, he remains actionless and devoid of all types of sorrow and grief and such pairs of opposites, vikalpa, throughout till the body lasts as per the prarabdha. So that is the point Acharya is hinting. See, Brahmakritya nivasati, sukham nivasati, nishkriya nirvikalpaha. Last line. Brahmakritya nivasati, sukham nishkriya nirvikalpaha. Such a personality, such a person with awareness, such a realized Mahatman, such a realized Yati or Jijnasu becomes Jivan Mukta here, now itself. He becomes liberated while still in the body itself. Once he becomes liberated, he remains in the state, pure state of Atma, Pratyagatma Swarupa. That is called Brahmakara. And he remains Nishkriya and Nirvikalpa. No more doubts, no more imaginations, no more vikalpas in the mind. No more suspicious thoughts in the mind. No more sankalpa and vikalpas. The mind becomes pristine, pure. Mind becomes pristine, pure means Vishuddha Sattva. Vishuddha Sattva. It reaches that state, pristine, pure, and he remains a pure witness. So usually people confuse. Nishkriya means totally actionless. So he falls flat on the bed, he will never get up totally. He will not move. All his organs will not move. All his indriyas will not move. And he remains absolutely motionless like a dead log. It is not like that. Nishkriya means mentally all the actions are given up. No more he thinks that he is the doer. No more he thinks that he is the body. No more he thinks that he is the body-mind complex. He is beyond the body-mind complex. How to explain all this? Gurudev has to help here. Nishkriya. A jnani will be living in the world like anybody else, performing basic ritual actions to sustain the body. A jnani also has to feed, to retain the body, health of the body. Jnani has to walk, jnani has to lift by hands, he has to eat. Jnani also, like you and me, will go for morning nature call, urination. He will also go for defecation. He will also sweat during summer. He may require 1 or 2 extra blankets during extreme cold in the winter season to cover the body. All these things are there. But Vedanta says, a jnani, a person who is realized, he remains nishkriya and nirvikalpa. He remains actionless and thoughtless, without any association of thoughts with the mind. He becomes himself as a watcher. He becomes himself as a pure witness. So you should not confuse. Nishkriya means totally actionless, like a dead body, a jnani remains. No. Jnani, a realized person, will behave just like you and me in the world. He will laugh, he will walk, he will talk, he will sit, he will eat, he will become angry when you say something, he will laugh at you when you say something. All the actions are there for observer from his body. His body is showing all the actions. But the difference is between him and you, between him and me, is he is a totally realized Mahatman. He is Atma Swarupa himself. There are no more worries, no more tensions, no more sankalpas, no more vikalpas, no more desires, no more expectations in life. Absolutely, he is detached from the body consciousness. He knows that he is a supreme. He knows the supreme consciousness. He remains in that beatific state of supreme bliss all the time in the mind. He becomes a pure witness to everything, the waking state, the dream state, and the deep sleep state. And he knows that he himself is the entire universe. He is all pervading supreme cosmic consciousness. He is the Parama Chaitanya everywhere. He will always stick to that point. Always stick to the point. That is called Sarvatma Bhava. So, no more desires, no more vikalpas, no more sankalpas, no more dvandvas. Nothing will affect him, and he is beyond all the concepts of life and death. He is beyond the sense of the death fear, since he is no more body, and finally, he will not return back to this samsara after the death of the body, which he despises. He is limited now to the body which has come due to prarabdha. Because he is born out of his parents, as long as prarabdha is there, the time factor is there, he knows that his body will survive and one day it will go away. He is least bothered. So there is no marana bhaya, abhinimesha, totally. And then there is no return, no more punarjanma, no more rebirth. He himself becomes Paramatma Swarupa. So that is a point here. Tena vidya timira janitan sadhu dhagva vikalpan brahma krutya nivasati sukham nishkriyo nirvikalpa. Sadhu dhagva vikalpan. Acharya is using this term here, this phrase. The realized person will burn away all his vikalpas, sankalpas, imagination, doubts, and mental activities and actions completely. Beautifully, he will burn everything away. Sadhu dagdva. Totally, he will burn away all the vikalpas and actions mentally. Mental. Similar word Lord uses in Bhagavad Gita. For how a sthita prajna, a jnani remains. Lord tells Arjuna there. He uses a beautiful word. A jnani, a samadarshi, a tattvadarshi, a sthita prajna will be like jnanagni dagdha karmana. That's the word used in Bhagavad Gita. Jnanagni dagdha karmana. He remains like a burnt seed. All his avidya, ignorance, is burnt by jnana. The fire of knowledge has burnt the avidya. So he remains like a burnt seed. The seed which is totally fried. It remains in the same shape, But if you sow that seed in the soil, it will not germinate because it is already fried completely, burnt. Normal seed may germinate if you add the water to the soil. But the burnt seed will not germinate anymore. There is no more rebirth. It remains no more rebirth. So no more germination. So Lord uses, Krishna Paramatma uses the word Jnanagni Dagdha Karmanaha. There in Bhagavad Gita, Acharya uses the word Tena Avidya Timira Janitan Vikalpan Sadhu Dhagdva. Both mean the same. So with Guru Sankalpa, we'll stop today here. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwara.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Jai Shri Ram. Beautiful, sir, on the Gnani.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.